What's up, everybody? My name's Tyler. Today we're taking a look at another product that I personally use quite regularly, 24/7 in fact. And that product would be the Whoop 3.0. So I've been using this for just under a year, but that's long enough, I think, to do a review. So I get a lot of questions about this. It's just a black band, no watch face. What does it do? And then after explaining that, people are asking, does it work? Do you find it useful? And if they're familiar with the product, the question is, are you going to renew? So I just wanted to make a short video, talk about my experience with Whoop. Off the bat, I will say I paid full price for this. I have the 18-month membership. I'm 12 months in, and there's no sponsorships or anything like that. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and my long-term thoughts on what I'll be doing in the future. So starting with the good, I love the simplicity. The band's small, it's easy to wear, it's 24/7, you just leave it and forget it. There's no displays, nothing to touch, no buttons. It's really straightforward. One of the great features is the charging system. You get this little charger here, you plug this into the wall, charge this up, and then once this is charged, you just throw it right on here and you are good to go. It's super easy. You can charge while you're stretching, while you're sleeping, whatever. And the band continues to record in the background. So you're never missing data while charging. So yeah, that's a really cool feature. Another really nice feature is the ease of the app. The app is great. It's really simple to use. It does require you to set time aside to fill out the sleep journal if you want to get quality results out of the product, which is what you're paying for. So when you wake up in the morning, you got to look at, did it record when you fell asleep? Did it record when you wake up? Make sure those are proper. And then go through and fill out the journal. Did you eat meat? Did you sleep in the same bed as normal? Are you extra stressed? Like all these different factors. And there's a whole bunch of questions. One of the nice things is the app identifies that those don't all apply to you. So you can pick and choose which questions you answer every day and get rid of all the ones that don't apply. You do get a weekly and monthly performance assessment, basically, and they're pretty in-depth. So if you're filling out the journal, this is where the journal really comes back to pay off, is you get these assessments that tell you, oh, you ate meat 20 times this month, that's higher than last month, and here's how it impacted your recovery. So that's pretty cool, and it does that with every different thing that you record. So you can really look at it and be like, okay, this impacts this in a good way, and this over here does a bad thing, and so on and so forth. And you can really use it to kind of like navigate what leads to good performance. So that's cool. So the bads, let's talk about those because there are some drawbacks. Being a wrist-based heart rate monitor, it's not going to be perfect. And because of that, you really have to take some of these things with a grain of salt because there are issues with that. So, like, I work in a restaurant. We have an old school milkshake maker, and when you're blending the tins on the blender, you get a lot of vibrations in your arm. So, I've had a couple times where it's a really busy Saturday. We're making tons of shakes. My Whoop will record that I'm doing 190 heart rate for 4 hours. And it's like I'm just at work making milkshakes. And what you can do is delete that activity. But where it impacts you is that it keeps the heart rate data. So now you have a 4 hour high level exertion rate, and it says, oh, you did a lot of exercise today. Your body was really strained when it wasn't. And how that impacts you is then you go to sleep that night and it thinks you're coming out of this giant hole, this giant effort. So it might take 4 days to recover from an effort that never happened. So I found that to be problematic. I've had that occur a few times just throughout the year of use. That's a bummer, but if you can recognize that and be like, okay, I got a really horrible recovery today because yesterday it thinks I did this monster effort, just kind of put that in the back of your mind, be like, oh, it's a scratch, go on with your day as normal. Just if you feel tired, you're tired. If you don't, then you're probably good. So that's one drawback. Another drawback is when you buy this product, which is fairly expensive for what it is, it generally doesn't do anything for the first 2 months. It takes a while to establish baselines and learn what your habits are, what your normals are. Like if you're training regularly and that's your norm, it needs to it needs time to develop that and to recognize that. So for the first 2 months, every time I'd look at a bike, it would think I did like a near maximal effort. So it took a solid 2 months before it leveled out and started providing information that was usable. 12 months in now, non-issue, but just be aware of that when you buy it. You're not going to get immediate results. So that's two drawbacks. Those are pretty much the two main ones that I have is, yeah, just the first 2 months, you're not getting anything. And then after that, you get occasional misreads and those impact you for possibly days. So keep that in mind. So my long-term takeaway with the Whoop is I think it's a great tool for basically conducting experiments on yourself and determining what impacts your recovery in a good way, what impacts your recovery in a bad way, what lifestyle habits do you need to change to achieve your goals. And that can be non-athletic goals. That could just be maybe you're struggling with sleep and you need to figure out how you can sleep better. This is a great tool for figuring that out, as well as athletic goals. But after 1 year, like I have 6 more months on my membership, but I probably will not be renewing, because once you learn the habits, you just have to keep following them, keep practicing them and getting better at them. So I really think this is a great tool for guiding. As a standalone product, it doesn't tell me the time. It doesn't record in GPS. It doesn't do anything other than the Whoop recovery stuff, which is great. But I think in the future, it would be cool to see Whoop partner or sell to a brand like Garmin or Apple or Wahoo, because I think those brands are already working on bringing this technology into their products. And I think Whoop's either going to miss the bus and get phased out because you'll get all these other features in like an Apple Watch, say, where this won't be a standalone product anymore. It won't be that impressive. But yeah, so if you have things you're trying to figure out and learn about yourself, I think this is a great product. I'd get the 1 year membership, scratch the first 2 months, just wear it, follow the sleep journal, be disciplined about it, and then take the 10 months following to learn habits, learn practices, and how to apply those to your daily life. And then when it's done, and move on and just keep practicing the things that you learned. So yeah, that's kind of my takeaway. I think it's a great tool. It's not a forever product. Like, I'm not going to keep using it. I don't think most people will. If you have a Whoop and maybe you have a different experience or you have some thoughts or questions, just drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, and I'd also be interested to hear your experiences, if they're any different from mine. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you found that helpful. I always appreciate subscriptions, and have a great rest of your day. Cheers.